Hi guys, Brook here. This is my first video that I'm doing as a commentary in my new place out here in Aberdare, Wales. I've been enjoying myself out here, getting my place settled, getting everything set up. I don't have an office anymore. I'm going to be working out of my house. It's just me. I've got a lot of space out here, so I've set myself up a fantastic desk and recording session and recording equipment. This is a piece of cardboard that's behind me. I'm just experimenting with the length so I don't have to show you the state of my living room. But while I've been out here in Wales and while I've been out here in Aberdare, the one piece of frustration that I've had to deal with, which is going to be the topic of this video, has been dealing with the recycling and the rubbish that's collected out here in Aberdare. Now, from what I understand, there are basically 3, maybe 4 assortments of garbage that they collect out here. There's a general waste, which I guess would include like tissue paper, some canned foods, general things that can't be recycled. There's paper and plastic that tends to go into one bag. There is batteries and electronics that could be collected separately. And then there's food waste. And it gets a little complicated because the food waste can also include pizza boxes and sometimes other utensils and containers that might be contaminated with food, except for tin items. Anyway, it's been absolutely frustrating. And this brought me to the point is like, look, I understand that a lot of people, especially out here in Wales, are very pro-environmental and very pro-recycling and all these other types of things. I wish recycling was actually as effective as people would like to hope. I actually do know that in the UK especially, and we've known this for some time, that most of our quote-unquote recycling is exported to countries like China and Poland and these other places, and most of it ends up being dumped. In fact, I think in the most recent study of the Recycling Association in the UK, I can't remember the name, I'll see if I can find the article, almost 100% of what we consider to be recycling is actually exported. And it has a lot to do with, again, the government incentives, as they always do. In terms of recycling, the only thing that could be recycled by the free market economically tends to be aluminium, sometimes paper, depending on the industry and the type of paper that it is. But everything else, of course, is government subsidized. And in typical fashion, the UK government, they have, depending on how much you actually recycle, you get a recycling credit. I can't remember the exact name of this. And what ends up happening is that local recycling facilities, after they sift through all the stuff and all the garbage and everything like that, maybe 20 to 30% of it might actually be usable, recyclable material. But if that same recycling company packs everything up into a shipping container and ships it off to China or somewhere in Eastern Europe or possibly even India in one of these places, that's considered 100% recycling. And even though most of it gets dumped into the ocean, all of those nice pictures of the floating garbage island and stuff like that, yes, folks, that's your recycling. That's what's going on with this whole scam. Now, I understand people are very, they care about the environment. I care about the environment. I very much want to see the place clean water, clean air. I don't like to see litter and all these other types of things. But at the same time, I understand the repercussions of the recycling system. And it's a huge facade. It makes people feel good. They think they're making a difference. But in actuality, it's actually causing a lot more problems than it is. I'd much rather my trash went into one of these modern landfills that is sealed off. At least it's not going to be dumped into the ocean. Modern landfills and stuff like that have been, greatly, put in line with environmental standards. They don't leak into underground water anymore. And some of these places, they're sealed up and they could turn into parks and other different types of things. At least it doesn't end up in the ocean and kill the poor dolphins and all this other kind of stuff. I had a person, I used to drink like a bottle of Evian, like a 1.5 liter bottle of Evian almost every day when I was back in Essex. And, the poor cleaning lady, she had a real issue with plastic and stuff like that. And I remember making the comment to her, and it's like, I understand, you want to push for more environmental stuff, but if you're not going to deal with the biggest polluters on the planet, which tend to be China and India and these other places, don't come to me. I'm going to crush my bottles, and hopefully they'll end up in a landfill. They'll never enter the oceans and stuff like that. They'll be buried for thousands of years in a sealed up, container. And, eventually I think they actually produce some methane that can actually be used for power and other different types of things. So, and this is not news. Back in the, I guess, early 2000s, Penn and Teller did a fantastic expose on the issue of recycling on their Showtime series called Bullshit. I think even up to recently, the ITV had done expose on plastic recycling in the UK. And they actually went out to China and they went out to Poland, where a lot of these stockpiles, people are just buying these plots of land and dumping all of this supposedly recyclable plastic out in these open fields. And it's just making things worse. So I am not one for virtue signaling. I let my virtues speak for themselves. I don't need to, pretend like I'm, this great person or show that I care about the environment. I do care about the environment enough that I actually know where your plastic recycling and all these other things are going. Henceforth, I'd much rather dump it. But out here, of course, there are fines if you put the wrong materials in the wrong bag. And I have, anybody who may have seen my video about me moving out to out here to Aberdare, I bought pizza for the guys, the moving company, when they first came out here. And those pizza boxes are still in my flat because the twice that I've tried to take them out, they put a label on it saying, look, you have something in here that we don't recycle, and they've left the bag, and I've had to take things out, and it's just frustrating to say the least. But I do understand that is how it is out here in Wales. It's all very green. It's all very, about the environment and stuff like that. At least, the council and everybody else wants to make it appear that way. But yeah, don't get me started on issues such as, the solar power and, nuclear energy and all these other types of things. Again, Michael Moore did a fantastic documentary kind of exposing a lot of this supposed green movement. And, quite rightly, as they say, for every solar plant and wind farm and all these other things. And in fact, right here in Wales, just over the mountain, I see a bunch of these wind turbines and stuff like that. And I'm sure people feel very good about seeing the wind turbines and they think they're generating all this power. But every solar facility, every wind farm, all of these other things have a base load power generation facility, which is usually natural gas, or sometimes it's nuclear power, as the case might be. So the amount of energy that you're actually getting from solar and wind is pretty much on the fringes. I had conversations with people out here that were trying to pitch these energy facilities from British Petroleum or British Gas or whatever the case is. Of course, British Gas is trying to push solar and wind, because the more they push that, the more gas facilities they have to build to do the base loading on these supposedly green facilities. Unfortunately, I think Michael Moore's documentary was pulled off of YouTube because, the environmental harpies didn't like the fact that it was kind of exposing the hypocrisy and the nonsense of a lot of this green energy sorts of things. And, so just, being out here, I realized that I'm going to have to deal with a lot of this. And again, it's not that I don't care about the environment. I'm concerned enough that I want real solutions, not feel-good virtue signaling. So yeah, that's definitely been an experience since I've been out here. So I'm looking forward to having some of those conversations with people. But other than that, it has been a great experience. Out here in Wales, I'm still on the carnivore diet, and I have to say that Wales is a carnivore paradise. The amount of meat that I'm getting at ridiculously affordable prices, the size, the cut, the quality has been phenomenal. I've been getting I'm just going to call it a stack of burger patties, eggs, cheese, and sausage that I get from one of the local cafes out here. And I'm getting it for a ridiculous price, just absolutely insane. So I'm going to be eating very well while I'm out here in Wales. I've been cooking a lot more. I've been saving money because I don't have to order out. I spent a weekend just trying out a lot of the different foods. Haven't found a very good Indian, a very good Chinese food yet. I've experimented a little bit. Found a decent pizza place. Definitely, I found a good kebab place that gives me like a good assortment of, I usually have one strip of everything. The chicken and lamb shish, chicken and lamb doner, the kofti, whatever else. I would take an entire tray of that and I would eat that as one meal for the day. So that's been pretty good. I found 2 places that are doing that. Not a lot of free delivery, so that's a cost. It's like £3 extra on all the delivery. So yeah, things are a little bit more expensive. But other than that, out here has been phenomenal. The people have been very friendly, very interesting places in the market and stuff like that. Today I went and found this kind of spiritual ghost hunting shop that's in the Aberdare market and stuff like that. They go out to all these haunted houses and they put out their equipment and they take pictures and they got a YouTube channel and all this other kinds of stuff. So it's a fascinating things. I've never seen that out here before. And yeah, for those who don't know, I spent some time out at the Welsh Harp out here in Aberdare. And it's very ironic. The lady and the man that own the place, they have a son that actually lives out in Waltham Abbey, where the Welsh Harp was my regular. And he you know, it's these 2 places seem to be connected somehow. And very ironic that I end up going from Waltham Abbey all the way out here to Aberdare with the other Welsh Harp. So I thought that was pretty cool as well. So it's been a lot of exciting experiences. As I say, the only frustration I've had so far has been the garbage or the rubbish. They did clear out all of my boxes. I put out a ton of boxes and stuff like that. I've still got some styrofoam containers that I'm probably have to get rid of, and a couple other deliveries that I'm expecting, especially some artwork that'll be coming in pretty soon. Hopefully get all of that sorted out. But yeah, that is my little complaint. I'll see if I can find the links to the videos concerning recycling in the UK. I will put those below. Again, the information might be outdated. I haven't kept track of it. It's just today I was clearing out the garbage and I was getting frustrated at all the bins. I figured I would do a video explaining a little bit of this. Might do a video on climate change. That might be exciting as well. So yeah, to all my watchers out in Waltham Abbey, just know that I love you, miss you guys. And for everybody else, be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thanks as always for watching. Take care.